All right, so again, we're going to divide fractions using a visual model. We have another word problem that we are going to work on. This is our 8th video, so if you have not already seen some of our other videos, please go and check those out so that you have a better understanding of how to divide fractions using a visual model. All right, so we have Kelly has 3/4 of a pie left. She wants to split the pie with 3 of her friends. How much of the pie will each person get? All right, so the first thing that we're going to remember is that we're going to use the cube strategy to help us solve a word problem. So we first need to circle any numbers and units that we see. So we see 3/4, and our unit would actually be pi. Okay, so that would be our pie. And she's going to share it with 3 of her friends, 3 friends. Okay, and so now we need to underline our question. So how much of the pie will each person get? And we are looking for any keywords that would help us to understand what operation it needs to be used. And in this case, I noticed that they have each, which means to divide. Okay, how much will each person get? All right, so when we talk about division, remember we've said that division is about knowing the total amount, or what you are willing to share, and how many equal parts you can make or fit into the parts, fit into the whole that you are trying to share out, the whole thing that you are trying to share out or willing to share out. All right, so in this case, Kelly has 3/4 of a pie left. And because it's in fraction, I'm going to go in and work with it in fraction form. So we have 3/4 for the dividend. That's the total amount that she is willing to share out. And she wants to split it with 3 of her friends. I noticed that 3 is listed as a whole number. And we know that any whole number is also able to be converted into a fraction by placing it over 1. So 3 wholes, or 3 of 1s, can make a total of 3 wholes. Sorry. All right, so now what we're going to do is go through and figure out how to use our model, how to fit all that into the model. And we're going to color code it again. So this time we'll do blue and we'll do yellow. Blue and yellow. All right, and so we first need to know, well, how many columns do we have? Okay, how many columns do we have? We have 4. So we're going to do 2, 3, and 4 columns. And for our rows, we are going to use 1 row, which is what we have here. All right. And so now what we're going to do is shade in 3 of our columns. So we have a total of 1, 2, 3 columns that have been shaded in. And we're going to do the same thing for our rows, but we need to shade in 3 rows. But we only had 1 row when we started. So we need to add 2 more to our original model. So that will be 2, and that will be 3. And just expand your columns. Okay. And so now we're going to go ahead and shade across the 3 rows. All right, and so now we're going to figure out over here, well, how many column pieces have been shaded in? And remember, once we added outside or expanded on our original model, we did not expand our column piece because we were already finished with it. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3 column pieces that have been shaded. And then for our rows, we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have a total of 12. 3/12. All right, and I noticed that both 3 and 12 can be divided by 3, which gives me 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I have 1/4 as my answer. And we need to go back to our question and figure out what our unit should be. So it should be 1/4 of pi. 1/4 pi. Okay, and to check our answers, we're going to work our way backwards just to make sure that we got the right number. So our dividend should come out to 3/4 if we did the right answer. All right, so we have 1/4 for our quotient. So we're going to put that in there, 1/4. Our divisor was 3/1. And when we multiply fractions, we multiply straight across. So 1 times 3 gives me 3. 4 times 1 gives me 4. So that gives me 3/4, which is what I had up here at the top. So my answer was correct, 1/4 of the pie.